All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I got a new microphone, so hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully it's not too loud, but I know you can adjust the volume, so feel free. Anyway, this is my real voice. It's not a voice changer, I promise. All right, let's get right into it. So I'm gonna just keep this page up since it says the weather. I won't go back and forth on the other page, even though it's nice to get the visual of the wind, but you get the idea. It tells you here left to right, right to left, dome. So Boston and Baltimore. Bradish is making a season debut. He didn't really pitch much last year. I don't know what his injury was, but he's back, and I think Boston lefties are really good here again. I would go right back to Anthony and Duran. I'm really okay with any of them. Hamilton is a good long shot, in my opinion. If where is he? 630 on FanDuel. So I kind of have already some people selected that I like. It's a decent looking slate. Nothing crazy. Also, I should have started with this, but Mondays are typically bad. And I mentioned yesterday in my video, or in the video for today, that travel does mess with these guys. Look what the Tigers did today. You really got to factor that in. Think of like when you're betting NBA or hockey and a team has played 4 games in 5 nights. Are you going to bet on the team on their, fourth game and fifth night? Probably not. They're extremely tired. You know, generally they're going to lose by 20 or whatever. And I think people don't take into account traveling and, if they didn't get a day off the next, the following day, they're pretty tired. And especially when you change time zones, you really got to factor that in. So keep that in mind for typically travel days are Monday and Thursday, and yeah, just keep that in mind for those days. But I'll remind you guys. You know me. But anyway, yeah, stick with. I mean, you could go Bregman's story. Really anyone on Boston. I like Boston a lot. Bradish could pitch a gem. I don't know. He really wasn't anything fantastic in his early career. Let's see, majors. Yeah, he only pitched 39 innings last year. Like I said, I don't know what his injury was. I didn't research that. He only allowed 2 home runs, and then the previous years in the majors, he allowed 14 and 17 home runs. So, not atrocious, but I think coming back, he'll. And Boston, as good as they are, they'll show him who's boss. So stick with Anthony and Duran, and then those would be my priorities in this game, and then Story and Bregman, and then you can go with any of the other long shots if you like them. And keep in mind, long shots I only recommend in singles, and the vast majority of my recommendations are singles. I make a parlay at the end for fun, but parlays are meant to be for fun. They're not meant to be like, oh, Jackson Holiday sold me yesterday. Nobody sells you anything. You're selling, you're just, it's just for fun. It's not for, it's really hard to hit a parlay. And that's why books push parlays so hard. That's why the commercials say, oh, build a same game parlay, and you'll win millions. But really, they're just for fun. Just keep that in mind. Just have fun with it. Don't spend your bankroll on a parlay. And then with that said, even singles are really hard to hit at times. As far as Baltimore goes, they really like Cowser tomorrow. I judge it by their odds as to how much like a book really likes someone, and we know Giolito's been really good this year. But Cowser's hot. I think did he hit one today? I don't remember. It's either today or yesterday. And yeah, I think it was today. So he continues to stay hot. So keep on him. I always preach take the hot bat. Vinny, all those guys have been hot. So we're gonna keep taking them. Vinny, I actually am not gonna recommend today because they're facing a lefty tomorrow. He actually might not start tomorrow, but let's move on. Actually, I'm sorry. So we'll stick with Cowser, and if you want Gunner, once again, so be it. But I'm just gonna stick with Cowser because Giolito's been really good, and until Gunner proves to me that he can hit multiple days in a row or get hot, then I can't take him. All right, so for Tampa and Cleveland, this is kind of a crappy game. There's a chance of rain, low over under. Cleveland's actually slightly favored. I don't know much about Parker Messick. He is a lefty though, so Tampa generally struggles against lefties, as we've known from this year. The only guy okay, Caminero is a given, but I do like Morel when he starts against lefties. So give Morel a shot and Caminero. Carson Williams is okay, but he only hit a home run in his season debut. He hasn't hit one since. So, and Cleveland isn't a very good stadium for home runs. So this is a game I don't like too much. Cleveland's been horrible lately. Baz has been pretty bad this year. Sorry. So I always prioritize Manzardo for Cleveland, aside from Jose. If you want any piece of that, take one of them. But I think this is probably a game you could avoid and feel good about it, given the low over under and the bad weather. It's also going to be kind of cool, not cold, but cool. All right, so moving on to Atlanta and Miami. Waldrop's been fantastic this year. 4-0 with a .73 ERA. I mean, I wouldn't even consider Marlins, especially in this big ballpark. Sandy, as we know, has been pretty bad this year. I know I mentioned Ozuna kills his old team. He had a bad game today. Hopefully Tuesday he can rebound. Baldwin hit a home run. Another thing, a funny thing I noticed is both the Baldwins, the Baldwin on Atlanta and the Baldwin on the White Sox. Whoops. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. They hit home runs on the same day. They both hit today again. I don't know if they're brothers or what the deal is, but it's kind of interesting to see. So I think run it back with Ozuna against Sandy, who's been bad this year. And then, yeah, this is probably going to be a crummy game. I don't really like it that much. Olson's been bad. It's just a big stadium. But if you want to try Harris again, feel free. But personally, myself, I'm avoiding this game. Yankees and Nats. This could be a really good game. The only thing I don't like is when the Yankees face a lefty, which Mackenzie Gore's had a really bad year, so he's a good target. Judge has really good numbers off Gore, so he's going to be very popular tomorrow. Well, Tuesday. Today's Monday. I'm recording this the day before. This is for my Euro friends, by the way. I know. I think they sleep during the baseball game, so I want to get this out for my guys, my guys and gals in European countries, I should say. And actually, let's start with Nationals. So Gill's pitching, who I don't think he's allowed very many home runs this year. He doesn't have a big sample size. He hasn't pitched much. 19 innings. Yeah, only one home run in 19 innings. So, let's see if any of them have faced him. No, they haven't. So yeah, I'm not really vibing. If I can find it. Gil, he's been pretty good. Once again, lefties are amazing at this park. So Wood and Abrams, Garcia's finally heating up. Any of them are fine. I've been preaching lately to prioritize the leadoff hitters, and today they did pretty good. Shea at the Grand Slam. 9 holes did great today, and if you want to try some 9 holes, you're gonna make some money. The biggest disadvantage to 9 hole though is they're probably most likely to get pinch hit for. Keep that in mind. But leadoff hitters have been great this year, at least recently, the past few weeks. So I don't mind Wood or Abrams, but keep in mind Gill has been okay as far as suppressing home runs. But yeah, as far as Yankees, I don't entirely know how well they hit off lefties. Jazz does have a home run off of McKenzie, and he's hit a couple days in a row. He's been really good. Cat inside. So I'm okay with Jazz because he has really solid numbers off of him. And then, like I said, Judge already knew he did. I wouldn't take McMahon. He's been bad since he joined the Yankees. It's been disappointing because I used to live in Denver and I liked Ryan McMahon. I still like him, but he's just been disappointing with the Yankees. So anyway, I like Goldie, I like Judge, I like Stanton, and Volpe has been cold, but I could see him hitting one tomorrow. I actually really like Volpe tomorrow. So prioritize the righties once again, and then if you want a lefty, take Jazz. But I wouldn't take Belly, Grisham, or Wells. I know Wells probably won't even start tomorrow. He hasn't been starting every day, and they've been putting him in the 9 hole, which is kind of disappointing because I like Wells. Let's see if their odds are up here. Actually, let me refresh. It's been a little while since I refreshed. No, they finally put that game up. No, they didn't. That's fine. So let's move on to Minnesota and Toronto. And the wind is blowing out. I'm sorry, at Yankee Stadium. So the weather is very good. We're in a dome here in Toronto. Minnesota. Wallner woke up today. He does have good numbers off Bassett. Granted, it's a very small sample size, but what do I say? Take the hot hitter. So we're taking Wallner tomorrow. I just can't take Buxton right now. Larnack usually has pretty good odds, so I'm okay with Larnack, but just given how bad Minnesota's been lately, I would just I would just stick with Warner, and then Clemens is okay too. But just keep in mind how bad Minnesota's been, and but I do like Toronto. I really like Springer. Vladdy, maybe he did come back today. Um, he really hasn't hit a lot of home runs this year. I think a lot of people look at the name and think, "Oh, I'm going to take Vladimir Guerrero Jr." The thing is, he hasn't hit home runs at like a high rate. He only has like 21, 22 home runs on the year. So just like don't think like 21. So don't think like you see a brand name like Sony and oh, it's so good, you know. But he's always in play. I just wouldn't take him. You know, I like Varsho. He's always my favorite Blue Jay, and he's got a great matchup against Ober tomorrow. So prioritize once again the leadoff, and then Varsho. Kirk has been really good at home too. He hit again today, so I actually like Kirk. But that would probably be it. Bo Bichette has really cooled off, and I've noticed a lot of people have been taking Bo, and I'm just not really vibing it. So as you can see, Springer's odds have gotten killed, which to me, when someone's odds go down this quickly, say he's usually plus 400, plus 450, and he's under plus 300, that's a sign that he's going to hit soon. The books are saying they're worried he's going to hit. Same with Varsho. His odds are really low. So keep that in mind. When you see odds drop rapidly, it's a good sign for the hitter. So let's go to Philly and New York. Wind's blowing out 9 miles per hour, which is really nice. Philly's slightly favored. Another thing I'll mention is I don't generally like a game when both starting pitchers are left-handed. I don't mind this game that much though. Mostly because New York has a lot of really good righties, and PD and Vientos Vientos is finally getting hot. He didn't hit a home run today, but he played fantastic. So I do like Vientos today or Tuesday, and you could take Marte if his odds are still good. I wouldn't mind taking Marte. I don't think the odds are up yet. No, it's okay. But I'm gonna stay off of Schwarber and Harper. I'm okay if anyone wants to take them. That's up to them. Sean Mania hasn't been good this year, but I think Castellanos has good numbers off of him, and I would rather take the lefty righty matchup. So Turner, Baum, Castellanos, even Real Muto has been better lately. Sosa actually has really good numbers off him, and I like Sosa as like a sleeper pick on Philly. So here, why don't we do this? Number 1 Philly tomorrow, Edmundo Sosa. There, I said it. And then I like Castellanos, and then Turner. So my number 1 guy. Maybe I'll toss like $50 on him just to prove a point. I hope he hits tomorrow now. Anyway. So as far as Mets go, I already said I like PD and Vientos. Lindor is always in play. He's a switch hitter too. Keep in mind if you see the S, that means so if he faces a lefty, he's going to bat righty. If he faces a righty, he's going to bat lefty because that's the advantage to the hitter. So if anyone's new to baseball, there you learn something new. So that's why Lindor is really nice in the leadoff spot because he can bat either side of the plate. Soto's okay. I actually did the old split on him. And I was kind of surprised at how bad he is against lefties. He's actually not that good. Like, I'm going to show you guys. Not to bore you guys. I know. Sometimes I make these videos long, but I want to get it. I want to get the point across. And I think it's good. I think the information is good. Not that I'm like any crazy guru or anything, but I'm not a parlay guru. I'll never say I am. And don't ever buy parlay picks, please, for God's sake. So here it is. He has 7 home runs off lefties, 25 off righties. He's batting 224 off lefties. So there you go. Not really that great. Um, but with that said, like Luzardo, he's been pretty bad this year. He's given up a lot of home runs, I think. He's given up, oh, I lied. He hasn't given up, but lately he's given up a good amount of home runs. He's only given up 14 in 145 innings. So just keep that in mind. But I still think Mets are in play with the wind blowing out. So I like the usual Mets and Vientos. Vientos actually is probably going to be my top Met tomorrow. I actually like him a lot with how hot he's getting. KC and White Sox. So I kind of preluded this earlier. I don't really like Vinny against Perez. Perez has actually been really good this year. He's only 1-3, but don't pay attention to pitcher record. That's very deceiving. ERA is a better indicator of how good or bad they're pitching on the year, but record doesn't really matter because what if a relief pitcher blew the game? It's not their fault. He could be 20-3, but they blew 17 games for him. So pitcher record is really not a good indicator of how good they're pitching this year. So I'm not really a huge Vinny fan. However, he has been hitting late in games. So if he hits off a relief pitcher, don't be surprised. Maybe live bet him later in the game if he's facing a righty. So honestly, I know they got shut out today. Grichuk's decent against lefties, but he hasn't really been that great lately. So I don't think I really like KC, even though they're favored for whatever reason. Even though technically they're a better team, but the White Sox have been fantastic since the All-Star break. They're a really good young team. This could be like a bet them next year to make the playoffs or something if they're plus money. Something crazy like that. They're going to be pretty good next year if they keep this core and they get better pitching. Like I'm impressed by them. They're a fun team to watch too, especially with Montgomery knocking home runs every day. So, if you guys want to go with Perez or Witt, that's fine. Maybe just take India because he's probably going to lead off against a lefty. And let's move on to the White Sox. So, obviously, Montgomery is going to be my top guy. With I know Baldwin hit today. He's also a switch hitter. Nothing really stands out here. I know a lot of people have been on Sosa lately, and he hasn't hit in a little while, so I think that's okay. But I think I'll just stick with Montgomery. Honestly, I would probably take him for 2 tomorrow, too, just for fun. He had the day off today, so he's going to be well rested. He should have a nice game tomorrow. The only other guy really, and Robert's having a down year, but I like Luis Robert. He's a very good baseball player. He's a fantastic center fielder, too. He's a really good defender. He's made some crazy catches this year. He's a fun player to watch, too. I was surprised they didn't trade him, but now I'm kind of happy they didn't because if he stays with them, it could be really good, even, in the coming years. All right. So D-backs and Milwaukee Brewers. The D-backs are still kind of terrible. The only one I can trust right now is Gurriel. I'm going to say I like Carroll tomorrow. I did pick him on here. I like his odds if he's around plus 400 because you usually don't get odds like that for him. And he hasn't hit in a little while, so he's going to hit eventually. That's just how I look at it. I don't think he's just going to not hit the rest of the year, So I like Carroll and Gurriel. That's pretty much it, though. The rest of the team is just too unpredictable. Is there any long shots? Not really. I thought this guy was a pitcher. I don't know. Anyway, as far as Brewers go, Brandon Pfaadt, if he's off, he's going to get destroyed. If he's on, he's a good pitcher. Collins, if you bat second, I don't mind that. He's also a switch hitter. And Yelich just got the lefty righty matchup, and he had really nice odds, plus 500 on FanDuel. So I don't mind that. Vaughn's maybe cooling off. I think we can maybe hold off on him for now. Durbin, for whatever reason, is actually pretty hot. I don't even know who the hell he is, but I actually don't see him listed on here, so I don't know if he's playing. But maybe look out for him if he has good odds. And then once again, Terang is not really a power hitter. You can try it if you want, but it's not really recommended. Like, he has 14 home runs in 125 games. Just like think about that, you know. I know he got hot for a little while, but that doesn't mean he's a power home run hitter and hits every day, right? Or every other day. So just, think about it. If you like it though, take it. All right, I think that's good enough for that game, and that's in a dome once again, so no weather in that game. Wind is blowing in St. Louis, and I already don't like the stadium. So let's see. Horowitz hit today. Reynolds hit today. Is Cruz back? He's listed. Keep an eye out for Cruz. If he comes back, I've actually said this the last few days. When someone comes back from injury, I like them. And that's actually worked the last few days with some players that came back and hit. So if he comes back, keep an eye on that. I actually do like him tomorrow, because he does have the lefty-righty matchup against Paliente, or however you say his name. 18 home runs, 14 for Keller. Keller actually he doesn't allow a lot of home runs. So if you pick someone against Keller, you just have to hope he has a bad game. And I just don't like picking Cardinals. Or really Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been good lately, though. I mean, they've been hitting. So we'll go with Horowitz if you like him, since he's in leadoff. And then if Cruz comes back, I'm okay with Cruz as well. As far as Cardinals, I don't think it's worth it, especially with the wind blowing in. Just remember that. 75 degrees, which isn't like cold, but it's cooling off. All right, so we got the Angels, who surprised me today by shutting out the Rangers. And then the Rangers with Corbin, who hasn't been very good lately. He's been a good target. Kikuchi's pretty good. This could be. I mean, Neither of them have really allowed a ton of home runs, but Corbin's been pretty bad lately. So we go. I don't think they're on here yet. No, they're not. So Nito hit today. Nito hit Monday. So I'm cool sticking with Nito. I actually like people, if they're on the road and they hit the first game of the series, that makes me really like them the next game. Because then they can hit at that. They've proven they can hit on the road at that stadium. So I really like Nito. And then Ward and Adele are fine. Ohapi finally hit. I don't really trust him still, but he finally hit. That was good to see, because he was amazing in the beginning of the year and last year. Last year was amazing too. This year, there's just so many guys that have fallen off this year, and I think that's why it just hasn't been as profitable of a year. But yeah, Nito, Ward, Adele. Just stick with the usual suspects there. And then as far as Rangers go, they should have a better game. I like Langford and Garcia. I think that's pretty much it. Since these other guys are just kind of Seager, he's just not having a good year. 19 home runs. He was hurt for a little while. Yeah, he's only played 99 games, but he's just not having a very good year. So I would just go Langford and Garcia for Texas. So what we really need to do is take advantage of Colorado's pitching, or lack thereof. As you can see, Houston is a gigantic favorite tomorrow, minus 341. I don't know where they get that number from, but let's see if FanDuel has them up. Well, they probably have the money line, but they don't have the home runs. Yeah, they're minus 360. So even their run line is minus 156, and that's like a normal money line. So they're obviously gigantic favorites with Brown on the mound. So I wouldn't take any Rockies against Brown. Brown's been very good this year. But fire up Houston. Oh, look who's listed. Yordan Alvarez. Look who finally is coming back. Hopefully. I hope he does. He had a horrible start to the year, but what did I say earlier? Coming back from injury, take him. We're going to take Alvarez if he plays tomorrow. It's also good for the lineup in general. So, like, Altuve should see better pitches because they're going to be afraid of Alvarez. And that means I like Altuve tomorrow. You have to think of it that way, too. Like, people get surprised when a 9-hole hitter hits, but who hits before Otani, Miguel, whoever's in the 9-hole here? And who's going to see better pitches than Otani? Usually the guy in the 9-hole, right? Because they want to get him out. And then they end up like walking Otani because they don't give him any good pitches. So this is going to strengthen their lineup. Altuve is going to be a really good pick. I already like Pena and leadoff. And then Walker's finally getting hot. So really, this whole lineup looks good except for Smith, and I don't even know who Melton is. So if you took in singles all these guys tomorrow, I wouldn't be mad at you. I've done that before, and I've made money. Also take them for 2. Anyone in this game you take them for 2 home runs because they just take advantage of Colorado's pitching is what I'm trying to say. And once again, it's a dome, so don't worry about them. And then Seattle's in a dome as well, as we know. I typically don't like the stadium for home runs, but lately it's actually been pretty good for whatever reason. Even freaking Tatis hit a home run on Monday, which is like a miracle. That was his first home run in 2 months, by the way. So what I'm saying is don't take him tomorrow or Tuesday. That doesn't mean he's back. I still don't trust him. Castillo does give up home runs. He's a pretty good pitcher, but he will give up home runs. So, I mean, I really, right now, only trust Laureano on San Diego. It's kind of hard to trust them. And maybe O'Hearn, so the 2 former Orioles. Sheets is hitting better. Cronenworth finally hit today, but I would prioritize Loreno and O'Hearn. And then if you like Sheets, that's fine. But it's okay if you just don't take any Padres on Tuesday. As far as Seattle, Cal is getting super hot. And once again, Cal's a switch hitter, which is why he's so dangerous, aside from the fact that he just has a big ass. But dumper. Yeah. Obviously take Cal. Cease has been pretty bad this year. Naylor's got the matchup for sure. Polanco hit on Monday as well, but he's not really that great lately, but he's okay. So I obviously would prioritize Cal and Naylor. Even Julio's cooling off. He's kind of hard to pick right now, but see what the odds are saying. See if they're telling us anything. They do like obviously Cal and Suarez, even Randy. So you lead off once again. So you could probably prioritize Randy over Julio. But for the most part, I would just stick with Cal. And then as far as any long shots go, I don't mind JP Crawford. He hasn't hit in a while, but stick with the big boppers in this stadium at least. So we finally get to San Francisco. We haven't been here yet since I started making my videos. One thing you'll notice are the odds in San Francisco are very baity. Now, whether or not you want to take the chance, that's fine. But these are the odds for a reason. It's not a good park for home runs. Also, Boyd's pitching for the Cubs, who's been extremely good this year, and he's a lefty. Although they do have a lot of righties in their lineup, but Endeavors is kind of matchup proof. But Boyd's been excellent this year. I would not want to take any Giants, especially with how... Actually, speaking of that, let me take you to San Francisco. If anyone's betting money lines tomorrow, check this out. So they've been on the road for a while, but look at this. These are all at home. I'm going to make sure this is on here. So these are all at home. They cannot win at home. They're really bad on. Well, these are on the road, but they're really bad at home. Um, there's more. Three here. They lost three in a row to the Pirates. They lost one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, like eight in a row, or whatever this is. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven in a row at home. Seven in a row at home, and three in a row here. So they've been really, really bad on the road lately. Um, so if you're betting money lines tomorrow, I would probably take the run line for the Cubs. Plus Verlander's been really bad. As far as home runs go, I'll be honest, it's a tough one. Especially with how bad the Cubs have been lately. I know what's his name? Turner. Where the heck? Tucker. Tucker's finally heating up. But Tucker is very good against the Angels in his career. When he was on Houston, he killed the Angels, and I didn't know this until it was too late. So that sucks. But I would be careful with Tucker in San Francisco. But any of these guys you like, take them. Feel free. Shaw's plus 1,000. I mean, he's been pretty hot, and but that would be pretty much it. Obviously, don't take Nico at plus 1,400. They put those odds that way for a reason. All right, the disappointing Tigers from Monday, who lost with screwball pitching. I know. I see a lot of people lost their money line, run line picks because they thought the Tigers would just auto win against the Athletics, right? But they traveled from Detroit to California. So all I'm saying is just be careful on those travel days. And I'm not saying, I know I'm saying this in hindsight. I'm not saying like this is always right, but just keep an eye on those things on the travel days. Even with like the home run picks, like I know Riley Green was really disappointing, and they had some hits. Carpenter hit really well. Judging by how Carpenter hit on Monday, he's probably a great pick on Tuesday, and they do still get the lefty righty. So I still like the usual suspects on the Tigers, and they should win this game. So I think we already know who I like: Carpenter, Green, Torque's fine, and then like I say, McKinstry as a long shot, but just stick with the usual guys. Maybe parlay Carpenter and Green. I think that would be good. Carpenter's really due. I don't know if their odds are up. Oh yeah, they just put them up. Let's go. See if they're like up. You know what I mean? Here they go. See, Green's plus 240, plus 250. Like, this is what I'm saying. These odds are crazy low. So this makes me like them more though. And like the opposite, like Horner's 14. This makes me I don't like them at all. That don't even get baited into betting that. Unless he hits an inside the park home run, which also San Francisco is fantastic for triples. It's a very big park. So if you want to take Nico for a triple, Tucker's really fast, take him for a triple. Even Suzuki can hit a triple. Feel free. There you go. And you'll get better odds too. But I love Green. I love Carb. Kurtz hit a pinch hit home run on Monday. That was pretty cool. And he gets Morton. So I like Kurtz. Morton has been better, but I still just the default of this stadium, how juicy it is. I mean, anyone in this game is in play. Even Jacob Wilson. I mean, that's fine. He's proven he can hit home runs in this park. Hell, he hit a home run in Seattle after he came back. So he can hit a home run. He's just not a home run hitter. So he's not a power hitter. That's kind of how I like to word it. So you guys kind of get it. And I know you guys are. I've gotten quite a few compliments on just based on stuff I've said, and they've won tons of money off of it. So I'm really happy to hear that. Shea hit the grand slam on Monday. He's good. So like I said, anyone in this game is really good. Both the pitchers, especially the athletic pitcher, like I said, Morton's been better, but I think anyone's fine here. Anyone you like. We'll prioritize the usual Tigers, and then Shea and Kurtz. Soderstrom's good too at 400. So they all look good. Even Butler maybe, but you don't have to take Butler. Where are we at now? We go to the Dodgers, which always has really good weather. I never worry about the weather there. And the weather, oh, look at that too. The over under in this game, let's see what it is on FanDuel, is 11. So there you go. They're projecting a high scoring game in this game. So this is my favorite game of the day by far. It's not even close. And then we got Cincinnati and LA. They like Otani tomorrow. His odds got shot 142. I'm perfectly fine with him in a parlay. If you want to put $300 on him in a single, feel free. I would be confident in that pick. And I'm not literally saying, but bet your budget. Tail's good. Andy Pages had 2 today. He's getting hot though. I really like him. So really, Freddie. I don't know why Will Smith's odds are so low. If you trust him, go for it. I haven't really trusted him lately. And the Reds stink. So I'm not. Kershaw's been really good this year. He's a lefty. I can't do that. I can't pick any of these guys. So just go with some Dodgers. So just kind of going through this, you could do like a run line parlay of the Dodgers, Cubs, Houston. Do like a 3-legger run line parlay, or just take the Cubs money line. I think that sounds pretty solid. If you're into money lines or run lines, I think that's a good one. I usually like to cap it around 3 though. I know people like they build their parlays like, oh, I'll just add one more, and then now $5 I'll win 20,000. Just don't do that. Your odds of winning are already low enough, so don't do anything crazy. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I finally hit. Well, I'm gonna make a parlay, but I just wanted to thank you. Wanted to thank everyone. I had 9 subscribers on like Tuesday, and it's almost a week later, and I have over 500 subscribers, and that is absolutely freaking bonkers. So keep sharing this with your friends. Tell them to subscribe. Once I hit 1,000 and a certain amount of hours of view time from you guys, then I can get monetized on YouTube. So that'd be a dream come true, honestly. I just talk sports with you guys, and YouTube pays me to talk sports. I'd be so happy, because I'm not going to charge you guys a dime. If I ever get like a Patreon and you guys want to subscribe, that's fine, but I'm not going to like charge you for picks or anything, which I've told you guys in the past few videos. I always recommend never ever buy picks. Please don't. You're already at a disadvantage. There's no reason to buy picks. So a quick parlay. I would say Junior, but the weather's kind of crappy. So we can go. I always prioritize Varsho, so I'm going to pick him. But if you want Springer, I'm perfectly fine with that. Excuse me. Wow, Trout's odds are really low, which I would please stop taking Trout. I love my Trout, but please stop taking him. And then once again, we can go either Green or Carpenter. I like any of those 4, or just parlay all 4. Frick it, I don't really like. You could put Otani. I don't really like putting him as a last leg, just because he's kind of busted me a few, like 3 or 4 times this year, but I really like him a lot. So you could do this, and it's plus 3,200. $10 would be just over $300. But I'm gonna say, and not all the games are on here, unfortunately. So let's see if there's any others. We'll take a Houston player, but they're not on here yet. So I would say, I wouldn't say Alvarez yet, even though I like him. So I would go Altuve or Walker, or even Diaz. Just take any Houston player you like and throw them in a parlay with Varsho and Green. Or like I said, Carpenter, Springer. Any of those are fine. Even Wallner's fine. But there's some good picks tomorrow. Later in the day, tomorrow, I will post on my YouTube. I'll just post some picks that I like, and then maybe make another parlay or 2. So just keep an eye out for that. I don't know if there's any sort of notification that you guys get if I make a comment, but just keep an eye out for that. Cool. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment your favorite player of the day, comment any parlays that you made that you really like, any long shots that you like, and let's make some bread tomorrow. I think it'll be pretty good. So looking like a good looking slate. Cool. If you guys have any questions, I'm free. Ask on YouTube, and I will answer as soon as I see it. All right. Take care.